Welcome to the deep dive where we cut through the noise to bring you the essentials. Today, we're plunging into Panama. Not just the canal, obviously, but Panama as a place people move to, for expats, for retirement. For years, it's been called the gold standard for retirement programs globally. And you can see the appeal, right? A really cosmopolitan capital city, two amazing coastlines, Pacific and Caribbean, just stunning natural beauty. And it promises all these great things: year-round warmth, low cost of living, a friendly tax system, and they say the world's best retiree discount program. But what's the actual story, behind all that gloss?
Yeah, you've really hit on Panama's big strengths there. I mean, its foundation is solid. It consistently ranks as one of Central America's most stable economies. That's a huge plus. And using the US dollar alongside their own Balboa, that gives incredible currency stability. Plus, the infrastructure is, well, surprisingly modern in many areas. But, and this is the key thing, while those advantages are definitely real, it's so important for you to understand that, like any move abroad, life there is going to be different, distinctly different. So our mission today is really to dig into those differences, the good stuff and, yeah, the challenging stuff too, to give you a truly realistic picture before, you think about packing those bags.
Okay, so let's start with maybe the biggest question people have right off the bat. Is Panama just cheap, universally cheap to live in? It feels like that's the initial thought, but what's the reality when you actually look closer, especially like city versus countryside?
That's exactly where you find this crucial difference. Panama is really a tale of two economies, you could say. Living in Panama City, it isn't cheap, not by a long shot sometimes, but the rest of the country, that can be. See, the capital operates on its own economic scale. It's just not representative of the rest of the country. So if you're looking at Panama City, your costs might be surprisingly close to what you're paying right now in a major city back home. Rents in the central areas,
Yeah.
easily into the thousands per month. And groceries, well, yeah, local markets help, but the main supermarkets, they're full of expensive imported goods that can really add up.
Right, the import costs. I've heard about that.
Exactly. And even though they have a metro and bus system now, which is improving, a car is often, well, pretty much a necessity in the city. That adds another big chunk to the monthly budget, gas, insurance, maintenance. So, okay, bottom line for Panama City, a comfortable lifestyle. You're probably looking at around $2,500 a month. Want something more lavish? That could easily top $4,000. Just to give you some concrete numbers, like a studio apartment might average $550 to $800. A two-bedroom, maybe $800 up to $1,500, or even more in the prime spots.
Okay, so definitely not universally cheap then.
Not in the city, no.
But
But step outside the capital,
yeah.
head into the interior, the countryside, maybe one of those charming little towns or villages,
Yeah.
and your costs can just plummet, sometimes, honestly, to a fraction of the city prices. In those areas, you could very comfortably live on $2,000 a month, maybe even less. We've seen rents, for example, as low as $300 a month in a place like Volcan, or maybe around $500 in Petitsi, which is quite popular. And get this, water bills. Across the entire country, they're typically under $20 a month.
Wow, under $20.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So putting it together, in many, many parts of Panama outside the capital, a couple can live quite well on, say, $2,600 a month or less, and that includes rent.
That difference is huge, isn't it? It really shatters that first misconception. Your location choice is absolutely critical for your budget. If you want that city buzz, you pay city prices. But if you're dreaming of something quieter, more surrounded by nature, your money goes way further. Okay, so moving on from the budget, let's talk climate. For a lot of people, this is the number one draw. You always hear about the year-round warm weather, 12 hours of daylight every day, basically endless beach season. Sounds pretty perfect.
And on the surface, it really is lovely. That equatorial consistency means, yeah, perpetual summer, gorgeous, sunny, warm weather is pretty much guaranteed. Most days. But there's always a but, isn't there? That same consistency, it can have some interesting downsides. Some people find that after a few years, it gets a bit hard to track the passing of time. When there's no real shift in seasons, and the sun thing rising around 6:30 a.m., setting around 6:30 p.m. every single day. It's reliable, sure, but it can also feel a bit abrupt. Like suddenly it's dark. If you rely on long summer evenings to get things done outside, that takes adjustment. It's very subjective, though. Some people absolutely love it. Others find it, well, a little monotonous after a while.
I can see that. Creatures of habit, but maybe too much habit.
Kind of, yeah. And while the temperature doesn't change much seasonally, there is definitely a rainy season. That's the big change. Panama basically has two seasons. Rainy, which is roughly May to December, give or take, and dry, from late December through March, maybe into April. That's the high season for tourism. Now, when we say rainy season, don't picture like 6 months of gray drizzle. That's not it at all. The thunderstorms, honestly, they are epic, really intense. But they're usually short, maybe 20, 30 minutes, typically in the afternoon. And then boom, the sun comes right back out.
Okay, so not all-day rain, just intense bursts.
Exactly. But the volume of water that comes down in those short bursts, it's astounding. So flooding can be a real risk in some areas, especially if the drainage isn't great. You can see streets with like a foot of water sometimes. That's why you'll see lots of locals and smart expats carrying an extra pair of shoes, and definitely an umbrella. You just learn to be prepared.
Good tip. Extra shoes. Got it.
And speaking of the natural environment, this is a really crucial point for you to remember. This is the jungle, at least very close to it in many places. You need to be prepared for wildlife. And I mean, wildlife. Of course, like in spiders, cockroaches, sometimes big ones, mosquitoes, obviously. But also snakes, scorpions, even caimans, you know, those little small alligator guys.
Caimans? Really? Even near towns?
Oh, yeah. Especially once you leave the capital and head into the interior or near rivers or coasts. These little critters and bigger ones just become a more regular part of daily life. Even in the city, you'll encounter more bugs than you might be used to. So, practical advice. Keep doors and windows shut, especially at night. Seal up any gaps around pipes or vents. It's just part of living in the tropics.
Right. So it's beautiful, it's warm, but it comes with intense rain showers and maybe a scorpion in your shoe if you're not careful.
Okay, beyond the climate and the critters, what about the sort of day-to-day practical things, the stuff that might really catch expats off guard? Well, here's a big one, a real practical hurdle for almost everyone coming from, say, North America or Europe. Panama basically has no functioning postal service for international mail.
No postal service. How do you get mail? Or packages?
Exactly. You need a mail forwarding service. It's absolutely essential. Most of them operate out of Miami. You sign up, get a P.O. box address in Miami, and then anything, letters from family magazines, bank statements, Amazon orders from the U.S. get sent there. Then the service forwards it down to you in Panama. It's just how it's done. A non-negotiable step, really, if you want to receive things from abroad.
Wow. Okay. That's a big adjustment right there. What else?
Okay, something else that really impacts daily life, especially getting things done, is Panama's holiday calendar. It can be, let's say, very disruptive, particularly November. It's called Mes de la Patria, Month of the Homeland. It's just jam-packed with multiple national holidays, fiestas patrias, businesses shut down, government offices close, sometimes for weeks on end, or it feels like it. It is definitely not the month to try and sort out visas or any kind of bureaucracy.
Weeks?
Yeah, it feels like it slows right down. Then you roll into December, and you've got Mother's Day, which is a huge deal there, plus Christmas. So December can be pretty hit and miss for getting things done, too. And then just when you think you're clear, February often brings Carnival, which is another excuse for things to slow down or just shut down completely for a week or so. So you're looking at, what, almost 3 months scattered through the year where productivity, especially official stuff, can be really unpredictable.
Okay, so patience is key, especially around holidays.
Patience is key, period. That really ties into the whole mañana principle. It's not just a stereotype. The pace of life is genuinely so much slower. Compared to what many of us from, say, the U.S. or Canada are used to, it's night and day. There's just no rush here to get much done quickly. So when someone says mañana, tomorrow, it often just means not it might be tomorrow, it might be next week. You just have to expect longer waits everywhere. Grocery checkout lines, waiting for a technician, getting an appointment. It's the rhythm. Now, this can be incredibly frustrating if you're used to efficiency and need something done urgently. But honestly, for many people, this slower, more relaxed pace is exactly why they moved to Panama. It's a deliberate choice to escape the frantic pace elsewhere. It's a complete cultural shift you need to embrace.
So embrace the slowdown. Don't fight it.
Pretty much. Yeah. Especially with government offices. Just bring a book, bring water, bring patience, lots of patience. Don't compare it to how things work back home. It just doesn't help, except the local way. And another cultural aspect that's really noticeable, Panamanians love to party. They really enjoy life. The motto seems to be work to live, definitely don't live to work. So parties are frequent. They can be loud. They often go late into the night, even on weeknights sometimes. For some expats, this is fantastic, a really vibrant social scene. For others, well, it can feel like a constant noise disturbance depending on where you live and what you're used to.
And fireworks, right. I think I read something about fireworks.
Oh, the fireworks. Yes, they happen all the time. Seriously, for any reason, for all reasons, or sometimes seemingly for no reason at all. You might be sitting at home and suddenly there's a massive fireworks display going off nearby. Could be a birthday, a saint's day, someone won the lottery. Who knows? It's just part of the soundscape.
Okay, that paints a really vivid picture of daily life. A unique rhythm, lots of patience needed, maybe some earplugs depending on your neighbors. So for someone coming from, as you said, up north, what's maybe the single biggest mental adjustment you think they need to prepare for, beyond just accepting mañana? And let's also circle back, because despite these unique challenges, Panama still has those strong points, right? The economy, the expat-friendly stuff. Let's reinforce those advantages and maybe some practical steps for a smoother move.
The biggest mental shift, I think it's truly letting go of the expectation of efficiency and predictability that you might be used to. It really is about learning to genuinely go with the flow, as cliche as that sounds. It's surrendering control in a way.
Yeah.
But yes, to your point, the advantages are absolutely compelling. That's why people keep coming. First off, using the U.S. dollar day to day, that makes finances incredibly familiar and easy right from the start. No constant currency conversion stress. Then there's the tax system. This is a huge draw. Panama operates on a territorial tax system. That means you pay no Panamanian tax on income earned outside of Panama, only on income generated within its borders. Think about that for remote workers, online business owners, digital nomads. It's incredibly attractive.
Yeah, that territorial tax thing is a game changer for many.
Absolutely. And real estate is generally seen as a pretty solid investment, too. There's been steady growth, predicted to continue thanks to tourism and the ongoing impact of the canal expansion, and for retirees. That pensionado visa we mentioned earlier, it is genuinely exceptional. World-class, really. The discounts are extensive. 50% off entertainment movies, concerts, sports, 30% off public transport like buses and trains, 25% off domestic flights, 20% off prescription medications, at least 10–15% off hospital bills and doctor visits. Plus, you get a one-time exemption on import taxes for bringing in your household goods. It's just really, really generous.
Those discounts alone could save a fortune over the years.
They really add up. And speaking of healthcare costs, the overall quality of healthcare is high, especially in the cities, and it's remarkably affordable compared to the U.S., significantly cheaper. Now, the public system exists, but many expats tend to use the private hospitals and clinics. The wait times are shorter, amenities are nicer, more English is spoken. Some hospitals, like Hospital Punta Pacifica in Panama City, even have affiliations with top U.S. institutions like Johns Hopkins International. Just to give you a rough idea of costs again, seeing a general practitioner might be $15 to $40 out of pocket. A specialist, maybe $50. An emergency room visit could be around $50. And good private health insurance plans are available and can reduce or even eliminate those costs.
That's incredibly reasonable for quality care.
Yeah, it really is. And Panama backs this up with pretty solid modern infrastructure. We're talking reliable high-speed internet in most populated areas, which is crucial now. The road network is generally good, especially the main highways. And importantly, tap water is drinkable in most parts of the country, which isn't always the case in the region. All this supports this amazing lifestyle versatility Panama offers. You want beaches, Caribbean or Pacific, take your pick. Rainforests, check. Cool mountain towns like Boquete or Volcan, check. It really can cater to almost any lifestyle preference. Loads of opportunities for outdoor stuff, hiking, surfing, world-class fishing, and you can still get your comforts. Large, modern grocery stores stock plenty of international goods.
So you get the adventure, but also the convenience.
Exactly. And community-wise, expats generally find Panamanians to be very friendly, very welcoming, happy people, often willing to take the time to help, even if you don't speak much Spanish initially. Plus, there are well-established expat communities in several key areas. Boquete, Panama City, obviously, Pedacio on the coast, Santa Fe in the mountains, Bocas del Toro in the Caribbean. Having those communities makes the transition so much easier. You have built-in support networks. And safety. Generally, Panama is considered safe. Violent crime rates are lower than in the U.S. Petty theft, like pickpocketing, can be an issue in crowded tourist spots, as anywhere, but overall it feels secure. Now, the language barrier is real. Spanish is the official language. While English is common in tourist areas and parts of the capital, learning Spanish definitely enhances the experience. But as we said, connect with the friendly locals, tap into the expat network. Many of those cons we talked about, they tend to fade as you adapt, as you learn to just, well, go with the Panamanian flow, letting go of those preconceived notions.
Adapting seems key. What about some quick practical tips for actually making the move, like banking, visas, tipping?
Sure, banking. It's a modern regulated system. Opening an account usually requires your passport, a second ID, proof of address like a utility bill, proof of income, and often reference letters maybe from your home bank. Documents might need to be officially translated into Spanish. The whole process usually takes maybe 1 to 2 weeks. Pretty straightforward. Visas. Lots of options. The pensionado is famous for retirees. The friendly nations visas are popular for professionals and investors from specific countries. There's also a reforestation visa if you invest in timber projects, an economic solvency visa, several paths depending on your situation. Best to consult an attorney there. Tipping. Okay, general rules for you. Restaurants. 10–15% is standard, but always check the bill first, sometimes services included, servicio incluido or propina, airport or hotel porters, maybe $5 or so, taxis, usually no tip unless they provide extra help, like carrying heavy bags, tour guides, 5–10% is appreciated, valet parking, $1 or $2.
Good practical stuff. And maybe just two quick legal points people might wonder about, say, marijuana laws and LGBTQ friendliness.
Right, marijuana. Still illegal in Panama? Possession can carry significant penalties. There have been pushes for medical marijuana legalization, but as of now, it remains prohibited recreationally and medically for general use. So just be aware of that. LGBTQ situation. Panama actually ranks quite highly on regional civic freedom indexes. There's a visible LGBTQ community, especially in Panama City. Same-sex sexual activity was decriminalized back in 2008, and the Constitution guarantees non-discrimination. While the debate on recognizing same-sex marriage is ongoing legally, many gay expats report feeling comfortable and accepted there.
Okay, we have definitely covered a lot of ground today. It seems Panama really is this compelling mix, doesn't it? A vibrant, modern country, yes, with some really significant financial and lifestyle pluses, but also clearly a place with its own distinct culture, its own pace, its own environment that absolutely requires adjustment. It's not maybe the plug-and-play paradise some brochures might suggest, but it definitely offers this incredibly rich spectrum of experiences for you to potentially discover.
Indeed. That's a great way to put it. It's a land of real opportunity, no doubt, but also unique challenges like any interesting place on Earth. Really, it's a journey of discovery. So maybe the final thought for you listening is this. Are you ready for a life where, yes, the pace is definitely a little slower, the parties might be a little louder, and your everyday neighbors might occasionally include a caiman or some truly spectacular insects, all while your financial future could potentially look significantly brighter? That's the Panama question.